All right, so today I'm going to be talking about streamlining release management for DevOps success, strategies and insights from the trenches. This is the agenda for today. I'm going to be doing a short introduction about me. I'm going to talk about the role of release management in DevOps, key strategies for effective release branch management, tools and technologies to streamline release management, overcoming common challenges, and just goodbye. So this is me. I'm Jonathan Dominguez. I work as a senior manager here at Veritas. I help in the delivery management department, and I love video games. I'm a music aficionado and a guitarist and a dog lover. I've been here for about 5.5 years, and I help uh, the team doing release management more in like a technical side of it. So I would like to share with you some common concepts and terminologies that you would normally find when talking about release management. Um, I'm going to focus on what a repository is, a branch, versioning, and tagging. So a repository is a central location in which data is stored and managed. It could be any type of data, images, videos, audio, whatever. In our case, it is code that we store. A branch is a version that we take from that code base so that we can work on fixes or features or whatever we need to include in the code. Then we have tagging, which is marking a specific point in the history of the repository with a label. But then we have versioning, which is how do we name that label, right? We have some systems in place that help us assign an unique version to that release so that it can help us later when we have to do release management or when we have to create the pipelines to release our code. Um, what is release management and why does it even matter? Release management is the process of building, testing, releasing software to customer, and it involves the coordination and communication between teams to ensure that the software is delivered on time and meets quality standards. Delivery on time, it's the key point here because if we want to add value to our customer, we have to release the code by the time they need it, right? And to do that, we make use of some tools, some teams, so that we can achieve that, and so that we can have a well-designed and a streamlined release process, so that we can achieve business goals and customer satisfaction. So this is the release management cycle. So when we get a new request to add changes or new features, we normally take the request, we plan the resources and design whatever needs to be designed in order to start building the software, reviewing and testing the code with the interested parts, and making sure that the code is actually great and good to go and to be deployed. Then we deploy the code and we enter in a phase of like kind of listening to what we have deployed, which is supporting, giving support to what we deployed and collecting issues in case the customers or the users found any issue so that we can start over the cycle. Um, okay, so you can think of the release process as the intersection between QA, the development team, and the operations team. Okay, now that we have a great development team in place, QA and operations, how do we communicate with them so that we can deploy code when we need to deploy code and so that it meets criteria and standards, okay? This is a simple delivery pipeline, kind of related with what I've shown you in the slide, in the previous slide. You normally build, test, release, monitor, and plan your code. Okay. So this is the I'm gonna talk about strategies to deploy. One of the very common ones is a basic deployment, all at once, or the big bang deployment, which is putting all of your code that you have and replacing everything that you have in an environment that is running and put it everything there. And that could normally go run, or okay. So in order to avoid those kind of things, we have, or those kind of scenarios, we have some other strategies that will help us reduce the amount of issues that we will have when deploying code. Canary deployments, blue-green deployments, A/B testing, feature toggles. Canary deployments, for instance, is releasing software to a small subset of users, and so that you can test if they are doing okay with the code. And once you are sure that everything is okay, then you start rolling the changes to the 100% of your users so that they can have the unique version of code or build. We have versioning, I mentioned it previously, and we have two common systems to name it. One is Calber, which is using dates to name our releases, Sember, which is another common way of doing it. And depending on the nature of your change, if it is a patch or it's a minor change or major change, then you just keep increasing those numbers so that it can make sense for the changes that you have added. I'm listing here some tools that you can use to help you during that process and also creating release notes. And I have a demo later in the presentation showcasing one of those. And yeah, so when working in development teams, um, and when you will find that everybody's pushing code to the main branch, and there could be the case in which you will find conflicts while doing that. And normally it is because you take, as developer, take too long to include or to integrate your changes. And by the time you do that, um, it could be the case that any other developers already put changes on it. And then you will face a lot of conflicts and you have to deal with a lot of issues in order to integrate your changes. So it is advisable to have to integrate your changes as quick as possible. And also we have also some branching strategies that a team might adopt in order to avoid those strategies. Trunk-based development, Git flow, GitHub flow, GitLab flow, feature branch. Okay. What is important to have a really good branching strategies in place is because it will help us a lot when doing the release pipeline, and it will help a lot on communicating as a team. So that is why having a branching strategy is really, really good. What makes a release management process successful? So you have to have your objectives and requirements really clear. So because if not, you will have to spend a lot of time trying to figure out what is that you have to do, and that is not that you want to be doing. None of the things that you want to be doing. So having effective communication and collaboration, automate CI/CD pipelines also, and I would say not only optimize the pipelines, but rather every process that you think you are, or that you find yourself that you are repeating multiple times, it would be advisable to automate that because it will speed up your deployment process and it will help in the release process as well. Having monitoring and metric systems in place, it's also good so that you can find or spot issues right before your customers uh, do or find them. And also try to standardize your processes. The more you repeat your processes, and then the more you can standardize it, and the more you will understand it, and the more you will be able to improve it, and you have a process that is less painful for you. Also, having continuous testing and QA is good in all of your process. Be continue testing your code, testing every process that you have, and also you can conduct post-deployment reviews. So once you have done your release process, then you can think of what is the things that went okay or bad so that you can improve it in the future iteration. Okay, so yeah, I have here a quick demo that I've prepared. Um, just doing a small or a simple deployment to an environment, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, let's go. Okay, I have prepared a repository for a quick demo that we will be doing today. And I'm using here this tool, Release Please, which is gonna help us create and release nodes. And it's gonna keep track of our history so that it can create pull requests whenever it detects that we have breaking changes or new features added, so that it can increase the release version for us, right? So this is what it normally creates, release notes for us. As you can see here, uh, it has created four for us based on the changes that I've had included here. And it can also create tags for you when needed, and it will be creating pull requests if it detects that something needs to be included in the new release. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be deploying today. I'm gonna be changing the color of this button. So let me show you how that would be. I'm gonna go ahead and create a commit, and I'm gonna change the color of our button. Let's say I would change this to blue to be blue, right? Then I'm gonna go ahead and do a commit. Okay, this is gonna trigger a pipeline or an action. I'm gonna show you that in a moment. Right here, Release Please tool created a pipeline that it will check if whether the change that we created applies to be included in a new release or not. Okay, and there is another pipeline that I've created or that I have configured to deploy our code so that it can be changing this button. Okay, so you would see that we have some different steps here. This is building and checking that our code is actually okay and we don't have any, let's say, LinkedIn issues or and so on. Then we run some tests, a few unit tests that I've created to for this demo. Then it will be building our code or an image, and it's gonna push it to Amazon ECR. And then the last step will take that image and actually publish it to ECS, AWS ECS. And hopefully after the pipeline has completed, we will see that the button or the color of the button have changed. Now you would see that the test fails, and then let's go see how is that it fails or why is that it fails. And as you can see, yeah, right here, it is expecting to have a green button, but we added a blue button. So let's change this in a few, and that is because I didn't update it my unit test, and I have to, right? And then I'm gonna go ahead and also update my test so that it can pass that test. Okay. So let's do that real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and just say update tests button color. Let's call it like that. Do a commit, git push. New pipelines will be triggered again, and then we would see if this time it would go through. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this one, and let's wait for that until I can finish or complete. Um, yeah, so it won't take that long. So this is like a simple way of deploying code to an environment. I'm not saying that this is necessarily what you should do. It only depends on your needs or the different environments that you have or how do you deploy code to your environment. This is only showcasing a simple scenario of how to deploy code to an environment, as I said at the beginning. Okay. Mm, So yeah, let's see how that goes. So in GitHub Options, you would see that we have some annotations depending on depending on the steps that you are going through. It will display some annotations showing some warnings or errors if it is the case. Okay. Yeah, let me try to zoom this. Yeah, okay. So you see that our test has passed. That's good. And now it is building our image. You can see that inside of that, I have some more actions that that I'm running in order to build the Docker image so that I can publish it, right? Okay, let's go to summary. It won't take that long to complete it here, but we'll see. Um, what else? Depending on your needs, also, you can have different or more steps to your pipeline or more inputs. Let's say um, in this example, we are not differentiating if it is a production or development or a staging environment. We're just pushing code to soon so that our users can see it live. So let's see how that would be. Okay, if it finished publishing our image to ECR, I'm not gonna show you the images here, but let's wait until the deployment to ECS completes. It will take around 2 minutes. So yeah, let's see what, yeah, you see that it's just, I'm just using some also some GitHub options that we can find from AWS actions so that it can help us to deploy to a ECS. You can consume those actions from third parties or from or places, but you can also decide where to build your own to achieve that. I've decided to go and use one of the existing, let's say, official actions to deploy to ECS. So yeah, let me try to reload this. Yeah, it hasn't finished yet. Let's see what this is doing here. And let me see if we have any errors here. Probably we have errors. Yeah, and that is because I have configured the action so that it can force a redeployment only just in case that we have something missing over there. But yeah, let's see until this can complete and finish. Okay, let's go to the summary. I think it is about to complete. Mm, let me see the other pipelines that I've created, how long normally it took to complete it. 2 and 47. Okay, so looks like we are about to complete finished. 20 seconds maybe. Let's see if our app is live now. Looks like no. Let me do a hard reload refresh. There it is. Mhm. So even though our app is already or has already detected the change, we are still waiting for this action to get an event to notify that the code has been deployed. And you would see that it has finished. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna reload. Yeah, this is a simple button and we changed it. And yeah, this is it. Thank you. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the demo. And yeah, this is my LinkedIn. You can scan this QR code to say, in case you want to say hi on LinkedIn someday, I'd be happy to be in touch with you. So see you next time. Bye bye.